Hi, this is Sean Washburn from YourExcelTutor.com. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, so sometimes Microsoft adds something and you maybe not even know it's there. Maybe that's the case for some of these other functions that we've talked about, but this was one that I just thought was really slick, and that is Sparklines. So if you're someone who loves charts, you love visual things, you know, I love seeing things visually. I use conditional formatting whenever I can. You know, anything I can do to have something pop out and show you, you know, what's the state of this data you're looking at, or something inside or outside of the range that you're trying to fit it into. Sparklines are kind of like take a chart but make it super lightweight and still show you what you want to see. So they're kind of tucked away in here. If you go into the Insert tab, and you may have just kind of glanced through this, or maybe you never even go to the Insert tab before, but there's a group called Sparklines. And what you do is, so we're going to add one at the end of this data. So we've been looking at, you know, how many times unicorns, eagles, and Bigfoot have been spotted in these, you know, last months. So, you know, some nice stats here. Bigfoot had a spike in June. You know, maybe someone was running through the woods with a Bigfoot outfit. But anyway, so that's our data that we're looking at. And, you know, I look at this table, and you may be the same way. You look at the table, and numbers just kind of tend to blend in with each other. And one way to make them pop out is conditional formatting, and that'll be in another video. We'll go in depth in conditional formatting. But for now, if you just want to see, okay, what's the trend of these numbers? I can kind of see it. You know, I see an 8 there. I see, you know, 22. But numbers sort of all look alike. And so one way that you can differentiate or kind of see where you're at is to use a sparkline. So if you go to Insert, and we're going to come down here, we want to put it at the end of this column, at the end of these rows here. And you come over here under Sparklines, we'll do the line one here. So we'll pick it, and it's going to ask me, you know, what data range am I looking at? So I'm going to pick the fly out there, and we're going to drag it across. And when we're done, and we already picked the location, you could change that if you wanted to when you're done. And we hit OK. And what it does, it puts this little graph in there, and that is a graph of, you know, the numbers on this range. So if you want to check to see if it's accurate, we're going to change this 2 to like a 16 here, and then you'll see how that, you know, it updated. So then if you want to copy these, you can copy it down these other 2 rows. So now each of the rows has their own graph. We're going to zoom in on that a little bit. So you can see it's really cool the way they do it, and the fact that it, you know, live updates. So say there was a spike in April and there were, you know, eight sightings, or, you know, in this case there's 22, so that's the peak. If the 22 was actually a 10, the rest of these would show up a little bigger too. Okay, so your upper and lower ranges kind of affect. Just like with a chart, they affect how you see it. Now, a chart has way more options than what the Sparkline has, but what I like is that it's super lightweight. You know, charts can kind of be clunky, or you got to find a place to put them and take up a lot of room. This Sparkline is just enough to show you where you're at and keep you, you know, up to date, and then it'll update as you go along. So I think it's pretty cool. And if you click on one, then you go to design, you can make it into a column one if you wanted to, if it's, you know, you're looking for monthly numbers and where the spikes are. I tend to prefer the line just because I like to see, you know, kind of that type of a graph. There's also wins and losses. There's these options you can choose from, and, you know, it'll kind of put a point on your high point or low point or whatever. So you can kind of play around if that's something you like. And then they've got different variations on the coloring and things like that. You can change their sparkling colors. And then if you decide you're at the end and you're like, you can even play with the axes there. But if you decide, okay, yeah, I put it in, and how do I get rid of it because it's taking up space? Well, you could either delete that column, or if you just want to take these back to being blank cells, you come in there, you come here, just hit clear, and now they're back to their, you know, ordinary cell life. So yeah, Sparklines, really cool. Love that they add that in there, because if you're like me and you want to see something visual but you don't want to add a chart, that's kind of like the best of both worlds. So yeah, I hope you'll try them out and see what you think. If you found this video helpful, show the love and hit the subscribe button below. For more help with Excel, visit my website at yourexceltutor.com. There you can suggest new video topics as well as connect with me to work more on your own Excel challenges. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes to make yourself more efficient today. Now learn more with these great videos.